Hey, Dan Cochimillo here with NorCal Sports Network with a video on the San Francisco Giants and their offseason plans. We're going to take a deep dive into this and see what the Giants need to do. Before we get started, let us thank our sponsor of this video and the channel, Chapman Law Group. Check out Chapman Law Group in the description of this ad. And everybody, if you would give us a quick little like and subscribe, we would appreciate that. Thanks so much. All right, guys, the Giants, they've already made a move a couple days ago for Willy Adames. They signed the top shortstop in the free agent class, Willy Adames, and they kind of got in there quickly before Juan Soto signed. As we know, Juan Soto is now a New York Met with a record 15-year, $765 million contract, the richest contract in North American sports history. So this is pretty amazing times right now. And I think this is going to be a very active winter meetings. There's a lot that's happening. As you watch this video, more will have already happened. So by the time you watch this video, there'll be a couple guys maybe already off the board. But here's what I think the Giants should do at the time of this recording for this video, which is late Sunday night after Juan Soto signed. So I think it's going to be a pretty active week. And I think what the Giants need to do is they lost Blake Snell. So they have to replace him. You don't go sign Willy Adames and Matt Chapman to huge deals, long-term, 6-year for Chapman, 7 for Adames, if you're planning on just that's all you're doing. You've lost Blake Snell. As of right now, the Giants are probably not even as good of a team as they were last year. Think about it. Michael Conforto is signed with the Los Angeles Dodgers. You've now brought in Chapman, which now moves someone else out of there, which maybe that's Fitzgerald. Maybe you move Fitzgerald over to second. But you've lost Blake Snell, arguably the best pitcher in all of baseball the second half of last season. So now you don't have Snell. You've got to replace him, because my original thoughts for the San Francisco Giants was to do a full rebuild. They're not choosing that path. I think a full rebuild, unless you're going to go out and spend, which it looks like maybe the Giants are going to, they better have a plan, because now that Juan Soto has signed with the New York Mets and Steve Cohen, I think the price for Corbin Burns just went up, because he's now the teams that lost out on Soto. The Yankees, they might go after Burns. If I'm the New York Yankees, and I know this is about the Giants, but the Giants, the Yankees lost out on Juan Soto. Supposedly their offer was $5 million less than the Mets for 1 year longer. So it was $760. They may be thinking, you know what, we can go spend $600 million on Burns and Pete Alonso and Alex Bregman. How's that for the Yankees? They're probably better off if they went out and got Burns, Bregman, and Alonso, fixed their corner infield spots, moved Jazz Chisholm somewhere else, maybe to center field, move Aaron Judge over to right field, all kinds of things. If they lose Gleyber Torres, maybe they put Jazz Chisholm back at second. He's not a natural third baseman. So I look for maybe Alex Bregman possibly to end up with the Yankees. I think that would be the smart move for the Yankees. But what do the Giants do? What do the San Francisco Giants need to do? They need Corbin Burns, period. You cannot have just Logan Webb as the top of your staff. And then, you got Robbie Ray, former Cy Young Award winner, but does he bounce back? Or we got to see. Unknown. Hayden Birdsong. Lots of potential. Love the kid. Unknown. Kyle Harrison, another, top prospect. One of the top, he was 2 years ago considered the top left-handed pitcher in all of minor league baseball, the top left-handed pitching prospect. Let's see how long it takes him to figure things out. So the Giants need more pitching. So do they go out and get Corbin Burnes? Do they get a Max Fried? I think Burnes and Fried go off the board. In fact, they could be off the board before this video even hits, because this video will come out sometime late Monday morning, and who knows what happens overnight in the early morning hours. So I am thinking Giants need to go get Burnes. Okay. Next, with Michael Conforto signing with the LA Dodgers for $17 million on a one-year deal, does that preclude the Dodgers from getting Teoscar Hernandez? I don't think so. I think they still want Teoscar. But, the Giants, why don't you go do what the Dodgers did? Dodgers just took two of your players. They took Blake Snell and Michael Conforto. Granted, Conforto wasn't going to come back, but the Dodgers, world champions, thought enough of Conforto that, hey, look, Michael Conforto hit 20 home runs last year in 130 games. And he did so, 17 of those were away from Oracle Park. He hit 17 on the road, only 3 at home. So what's he going to do in Dodger Stadium? He's not playing at Oracle Park, where home runs go to die for a lot of hitters. If he hit 20 for the Giants in somewhat of a part-time fashion, what could he do in LA? Look what they did with JD Martinez, made him an all-star a couple years ago. Then Teoscar Hernandez last year, an all-star. Conforto's going to hit, if he gets playing time, I could see Conforto easily hitting 25 home runs for the Dodgers. In that lineup, absolutely. So why don't the Giants go after Teoscar Hernandez and outbid the Dodgers? Turnabout's fair play. Look, Teoscar was looking at somewhere around 3 years, $75 million, maybe a little bit more. How about if the Giants go up that? But I don't see the Giants actually doing anything like that if they're going to try and stay under the luxury tax, so to speak. They've got about $41 million to spend. They can get creative. They could go out, get a Corbin Burnes for 30 plus million. Now maybe you can trade some guys. How about moving off of Yaz? I would like to see the San Francisco Giants go get Cody Bellinger. There's a couple deals you can do there. You can do Yaz, Grant McCray, Taylor Rogers. That's $20 million, 9 for Yaz, 11 for Rogers. And you bring back Bellinger's salary of $27 million, something like that. You can include Camilo Doval in a deal. There's a lot of interest reported in Camilo Doval. You could go after a Josh Naylor, who doesn't strike out a lot for a power hitter. Bellinger, by the way, struck out only 15% of the time last year. I think the Giants need a left-handed bat, whether that's a Josh Naylor or a Cody Bellinger. The reason I like Bellinger is because he's more durable, not durable, that's the right word. He's more versatile than Naylor. Naylor's a first baseman DH. Bellinger can play first base. He can play center field. He can play right field, left field, wherever. He can play all the outfield positions, plus first base, plus DH, plus he has speed. He strikes out about 15% of the time. The Giants need to figure out to get some left-handed bats in this lineup going forward this offseason that make contact. Okay, you've got a heavy right-handed power side of the left side of the diamond in Chapman and Adames. Both of those guys strike out a lot. They've got power. Chapman hit 27 homers last year. I believe Adames hit 33 for the Brewers, but that's probably going to come down playing at Oracle. Milwaukee's a good place to hit. So you've got those two guys that strike out 25% of the time. You've got Elliot Ramos, who'll probably be your open day left fielder. He strikes out 25% of the time. You got Patrick Bailey behind the plate, who strikes out 22% of the time. If Yaz is your right fielder, he's up there in the mid-20s in strikeout K rate as well. You can't bring a lineup back like last year that strikes out all the time. That's where rallies go to die. You've got to be able to make contact and get that runner home from third base with less than 2 outs. So they've got to find some contact hitters. Bellinger, I like. He's a contact hitter. How about Haesung Kim? I'm not talking about Ha-Sung Kim. I'm talking about Haesung Kim, who was posted out of Korea. You could look at him. He's a guy that makes contact. He strikes out about 16% of the time over in Korea. So maybe 17, 18%. We saw a slight uptick in Jung-Hoo Lee, barely 7.7% in Korea to 8.2 in limited bats last year. So, but we got enough sample size to see that Lee makes contact. Haesung Kim, from what I've seen, he makes a little more hard contact, less ground balls than what Jung-Hoo Lee did. But that's only I saw that in some video. I didn't, you didn't see all of his outs. We saw most of his hits. So what else could the Giants do? They need the pitching. Okay. We talked about Burns. If you can't get Burns, you're going to have to get Fried. You need another ace. I personally think the Giants should have gone out and got both of them. Go get Max Fried and go get Corbin Burns. And then you maybe you can trade Robbie Ray. Get rid of that salary. Move off of Robbie Ray. Now there's an option too. I don't know if Chicago would be interested in a straight up Robbie Ray for Cody Bellinger deal. I did see something that someone put out there that maybe Jordan Montgomery for Cody Bellinger, because the Diamondbacks want to move off of Montgomery. Also, the Cubs definitely want to move off of Bellinger. Bellinger's got a $27 million deal, and he's got an opt-out. He can opt out after this coming season, or he could choose to take the third year, and I think the Cubs want to get away from that. Suzuki might be up for trade with Chicago as well, the right fielder. So there's some options. But I think where the Giants really need to look is a couple of guys that make contact. Right now, it's a heavy right-handed hitting lineup. You've got maybe Lamont Wade to play first base. He doesn't have a lot of power. There's the left side. Then you got Yaz, who strikes out too much and doesn't hit for average. So I would rather see a Bellinger than a Yaz. And the other thing that you could do with Bellinger is you can put him at first base. If Bryce Eldridge comes up mid-season, you can then move Bellinger to the outfield. Eldridge steps in at first base. So there's all kinds of possibilities. They do need to find a better DH. I don't know what they're going to do with Marco Luciano. Are they going to trade Marco Luciano? Putting Marco Luciano at DH seems a little odd because he's 23. It looks like he needs to play in the field, but there's no spot for him in the field. Luis Matos, there's a guy that I think should be starting. If it were up to me, I think right now what the Giants have, their outfield should be Matos in left, Jung-Hoo Lee in center, and Elliot Ramos in right. Move Yaz in a deal somewhere. $9 million. That's $9 million that could go towards something else. Maybe you can move off of Taylor Rogers and try to get something back so you can sign more free agents. But I think the number one need for the Giants is Corbin Burns or Max Fried. Nothing else, nothing less than that. Burns may cost more now. I think he's definitely going to be north of 200. I was saying the other day before Soto signed, he looked like a 6-year deal worth at least 200, maybe 210, 30 million, or 30 times 7, that's 210. If it's 7 years, I think the AAV is less. If it's 6 years, I think you're pushing 35 times 6. So now you're looking, 30 times 6 is 180. 5 more to 30, so that would be 210. 6 years, 210. That's like 35. So 35 million, right around what Blake Snell got. Blake Snell got the 5 years. So I think definitely Burns gets 210, 6 years. But now that Soto signed and the teams that lost out on Soto, do they pivot and say we want pitching, and somebody offers Burns $40 million for 6 years, at 240, and Scott Boras is like, here we go, we're signing here. So that could happen. Lots of things going to happen here this week. This is going to be a more active winter for Major League Baseball teams, I believe, based on a lot of teams want to move off of guys. Luis Robert Jr. may be available. We've already seen a trade between the Cincinnati Reds trading Jonathan India to the Royals for Brady Singer. We're hearing lots of movement. Garrett Crochet could be moved. A lot of movement is going to happen, I think, this year. I think teams saw that not moving guys last year, a little bit stagnant. Sometimes when that happens, the pendulum swings too far the other way, maybe lots of moves. We'll see. Hopefully it's a very active winter meetings. And tell us what you think of this video. Let us know your thoughts on it. Make sure you give it a like. If you would, like and subscribe to the channel. We really do appreciate that. We're here all the time with videos. Check out all of our videos. Check out NorCal Sports Live. We'll be back with another video, so check us out. Thanks for watching, guys. We really appreciate it. Have a great day.